What's up, guys? It's your Supah Playaz back at again with an awesome market watch with your host Tony G, bringing you another Market Monday. And just like this past weekend, we had the Core TCG in-person regional this Sunday, and so many decks topped this event. We had King Piccolo, we had Gogeta Xeno, we had Shenron, we had a variety of different decks just smashing this event. And if you're new to the channel and you love Market Mondays, definitely subscribe, comment down below if I miss any cards, and definitely smash that like button because Market Mondays are the best. And so obviously we had some decks represented, and obviously we want to talk about those money cards that are in those decks. If you're trying to win an event or play in a Universe Warrior format, some of these cards are worth getting if you're trying to win an online or in-person event. So let's start off with KP and Piccolo's Jr., the King Scion, one of those great tournament packs. This card was sitting at $30 and it's gone down. So if you're trying to build some of these decks, it's relatively kind of cheap right now. And I mean, it was sitting at $30, now it's $10 cheaper. Obviously listings go up in price as you go down and see more, but as of now, if you want to get a playset, it's going to cost you $88, being the cheapest price. And honestly, King Piccolo's not bad. And then the next card we're going to talk about is King Piccolo, the new ruler. This, I don't want to say obviously all the time, but as you see, this card is limited to one now, and it's going to cost you 23 bucks. I mean, it's slightly played, but if you want a near mint one, it's 25 plus 99 shipping. But it's not bad. I mean, this card works in almost any unison that has 3 markers or more, of course, and so you could utilize it pretty awesomely. And this card's pretty good. I mean, it's really strong, very strong, and it's worth it, honestly. And yeah, so this card's relatively kind of expensive. Some of these are, some of these aren't. But then we move on to the next one, another King Piccolo promo card, which is King Piccolo's First Step to Revival. Isn't too pricey, so if you're trying to run this card and trying to run King Piccolo, some of these cards are not that bad. So $5.99 for this card, being the cheapest price. And then we keep going, and obviously we saw Gogeta Xeno winning that event, or topping in that event, and you gotta run this Ss4 Vegeta Feigned Greeting, sorry. And this card is awesome. This card is Overwhelm 6, and your opponent chooses one card and send it to the warp. A very good card. It's still skyrocketing, it's still going up. I mean, it goes down a little bit, but I mean, to get a playset of these guys, or if you just need 2, you're looking at $40. So that means Gogeta Xeno is going to run you $80 just for 2 cards. And if you want to win an event, I mean, you got to play some of these cards, man. These cards are awesome. And then we go on to the next card is Gogeta Thornton, another relatively cheap card because it got reprinted like 20 million times. Just kidding, it got reprinted twice. And it's not bad. I mean, you got the rare foil one, and then you got the alternative art one, which isn't too bad. And this card is awesome. Again, if you're trying to play Gogeta Xeno, this is a really good card to have in the deck, and it's worth getting, guys. So if you haven't gotten them, get them now. They're not too expensive. And if you're trying to play Gogeta Xeno and win an event, it's actually, I think, one of the most budget ones out there, except the Vegeta, of course. But other than that, I don't think there's any other card that's too expensive in that deck. And then we move on to the next card. I think a lot of people are running this in the KP deck, and we know that the U7 Ultra Instinct Red Goku deck is also very superior. It's dominating. We saw it in top 16, represented very heavily. And again, another SCR that I think is staying at a relatively high price. Very good. It's $296.50. A very good card. And yeah, I mean, the cheapest is $296. If you're trying to build that deck, any of these decks, they're gonna get pretty pricey really quick with the SCR. And then we go on to Android 17 for the Universe's Survival, another card. Like I said, this was represented in UI Goku, and it's not bad. I mean, some of these decks, to be honest, are not that expensive to make, guys. What makes it very expensive are either the SCR or the promo. But overall, you could get some really good games in, and you could get the W most of the time with these cards. If you want to solidify that victory, then of course you got to run the secret rare. But a very good card. And then we go on to the next one is Android 16 took this event. And I'm just going to be talking about some of these Android 16 cards that are worth getting. And there you go. Not that many listings on this card. It went from having a few to none now. And then we go on to the next one. Huge shout out to Jared for taking that event. He was actually the runner-up in Nationals this last year. That just happened. And then we go on to the next stuff. Again, a lot of these cards are being bought out. Not that many listings. Before it was $5.72, and they're slowly creeping up, with $40 being the most expensive if you really run out of options. And then we go on to the next one is Android 16, the alternative art set 2021. Very good. Again, bought out. People, I mean, Jared showcases his deck and makes it look beautiful. And it's awesome. Really good deck. And then sitting at $8 for the alternative art. And then we obviously want to give a huge shout out to Marcus for playing a very unique deck as well that ran pretty much very aggressively. And Janemba Bewitching Blow. This card is limited to 1 as well. We know that 99 cents is the cheapest, and there's so many listings, so if you're trying to build this deck, you could definitely make it. I don't know where you could find Marcus's deck, but definitely check out the community page. You might find it there. And then we know that since Shenron has been dominating these formats, and it's still a really good leader that people aren't expecting. Very good. Again, this card is phenomenal. I mean, people are running this guy. I mean, this is a secret rare gold stamp, guys. $11. I mean, get it while it's hot. But people are realizing since Shenron ain't going anywhere. Oh, this is damaged. Never mind. If you want a near mint, it's gonna cost $20. But again, it's going up in price because people are noticing since Shenron is still a very strong force to be reckoned with. And then obviously you have the Oceanuses, the Animancer in this deck. That is probably the key card to this deck, to be honest. It makes the Sin Shenron 9-drop very strong and gives a barrier and blocker. Very good card. And then we go on, 25 being the cheapest, and it just skyrockets after that. And then going on to the next one, Nova Shenron Flame Shot, another good card that is relatively used. You can see me, I'm trying to buy some of these, but I was just trying to see what the price would be if I bought a playset. But yeah, another great option, another great leader. I mean, it's not too expensive with the regards of these two SRs. You're probably going to be spending no more than, I would ballpark it at $100 to $150. I mean, that's pretty cheap compared to other card games. But again, very good deck. Then we go on to the next one, Omega Shenron Allies Absorbed SPR. I wanted to show the SPR one because look at that. It's $3.99 to buy a SPR Shenron. Not too bad. I mean, it ranges from different prices because you got to be careful. Some say near mint and some say lightly played, or moderately played. So be careful with the prices you get. You might think you're saving money, but you're getting a used one. So be careful with that. And then we go on to the next one is a huge shout out to Brian Samuel, obviously part of our team, wrecking with Vegeta and Trunks, father and Saiyan leader. Very good card. Another card that's $255. Not too expensive SPR. Very good. I mean, it's worth getting in my opinion. That's another very strong budget deck. It being $255 being the cheapest. And we go on to the next stuff that if you want to collect, I mean, if you want to max rarity this deck out, I'm trying to find the near mint. It's only $1. Come on, this deck is pretty strong. Near mint foil only $1 for one of these reverse foil or parallel foil. And then we go on to the next one, of course, is Ss2 Trunks. Again, another great card. So again, guys, if you're trying to max rarity this card out or deck out, it's gonna cost you like $1.50. For a playset, it's probably gonna be $4. But again, these are really great decks to build. They're not too expensive, and I think they're the most fun you'll probably have with it in the upcoming formats. So there you guys have it. So if there's any cards or decks that you guys want me to touch base on, let me know in the comment section. I read them. And this is what took the event. We had Trunks, King Piccolo, Red Goku, everywhere since Shenron, and huge shout out to all those amazing players that topped that event. So like always, from your host Tony, from your Super Playaz, Tony G, y'all stay super.